Hey there guys, this is 88 Shadow Angel here once again, and today I'm bringing you the final video for Konrad Curze, obviously, all painted and finished. So as you can see, I'm going around on the screen at the moment. Where to begin? So first and foremost, this is probably been my favourite model to paint. In terms of the amount of detail that's on him, and I suppose just the nice small bits that I didn't realise were there, and things like that. So, which in a bit I'll give you a bit closer up. So, just its overall impression is it's absolutely really good, and in its really cinematic pose for Curze. Like the way he strode the slate of building or massive wall section, all the way down to the corpses on the base. So I don't really know how to start. So to start with, I'm going to talk about where I got the blue. The dark blue came from a good friend of mine named Sam, who has his channel, which is Samwise Painting UK, which I'll put a link in the bottom in the comment section just down here. I'll put a link to, because he does a really good tutorial video on how to paint lightning. So if you're a Light Lords fan, really good vid to go check that out. I'd also like to I suppose thank Ellis Nation as well, for somewhat, as well as Hazard Syndrome as well, for giving me inspiration as well of a couple of ways that I wanted to do Curze and things like that. So thank you to those guys as well. I know Ellis Nation is slowly getting back into his Night Lords, I believe. Definitely go check those guys out, but I'm sure you have anyway. So where to begin? So let me just close in on Curze himself. So all in all, the amount of details in this model are quite honestly ridiculous. Everything from the work on the shoulder pads to the bits on the chest plate and the detail in the face as well, right down to the I don't even think they're called now, vanguards or shin pads and things. Also the detail in the cape as well, as you can see it just on the screen now. All the faces and skin over the top of his what was original cloak, I'm going to guess, and bits of bone that he has on there. Now with this model, I absolutely fell in love with Blood for the Blood God, which is obviously GW's blood technical paint, which I've never really used properly. The last model I used it on was Angron, but Angron's more blood spray, not care, whereas Curze is a bit more delicate with it, because obviously he takes the pleasure in torturing his victims and things like that, so proper sick guy. But the idea with this was I wanted to make it look like, obviously the two corpses on the base were, because everything with Curze is kind of for show to the whole rule through fear, so it's that whole element. But either way, working with it, it's really easy to work with. The way you can build it up on the edge and then slightly rake it back a bit so it looks like the blood's smeared up the blade, as you can see on the wrist blades. Also on the base as well, which I'll show you a bit of. I added a bit of nun oil to it, just to darken it down, to show it was a bit fresher blood, and then go back over with the top. So there's like 2 or 3 layers of the stuff on the base, just to build it up so it's got that real kind of fresh vibe to it. Now I kept the Night Lord symbol as it's best known on his chest, so the red wings with the skull, same as on the shoulder pad, just for decorative show. So because I didn't want to go too much with golds on Curze, because I don't see Curze as a guy who wears gold effectively. So I went with more brass tones and things like that. So it's really dark and it has that kind of vibe to it, which is what I wanted, which I was kind of hoping for. I love the stylised jet backpack on his back as well, which you can just see just up here. It actually hides the jump pack that he has. I really love the fact that it's kind of two bat wings folded back, drape over, which is quite cool. But yeah, there's one of the other details that I picked up on, which was actually talking with I can't remember Simon. I can't remember his last name. Who sculpted the model, Warhammer Fest, about his idea of Curze, and he said something about Curze having, or what he wanted to do was put Curze in what was effectively fingerless gloves, gauntlets. So they're like armoured on the outside. He then has the claws, like metallic claws on the end of the gloves to give him that bit more availability to peel flesh and stuff off, and then having his bare hands on the bottom, which I thought was quite a cool idea. And he said it was because Curze is one of these that likes the feel of warm blood on his hands and all this and gave that really dark image, or dark sadistic image. So I kind of ran with that. So the palms of my Curze are the same as his face, so they're completely flesh, which I've put blood on the end of the fingertips rolling down to the palms, so it gives that kind of illusion that he's quite obviously held someone in his hands while they're bleeding to death. So yeah, there's so much I could talk with this model. So what I'm going to do now is just take that down. I'm going to quickly show off the base, or at least the corpses on the base. I'll try and grab a few photos of this afterwards, just to show a bit more of the detail. So as you can see, two corpses on the base are the Solar Militarum, as the base decides to go the other way, which are effectively kind of like the Imperial Guard before they become the Imperial Guard. So normal mortal men. And the detail in these guys alone is ridiculous. I mean, the muscle fibres, the intertwine with the bone, the bits of flesh that are still on there, and things like that. So there's a lot to take in of this model. It's not just a case of, oh, it's a Primarch, it's a, and all that. It is quite simply, it's there's quite a lot there. I mean, the guy, just as he's coming around now, has bits of his face kind of left, and around the top of the skull you can also see a lot of the rib work and inner organs and stuff in there, obviously still with bits, so you can really see how much these guys have been tortured. So and I did kind of go to town with the blood work on the stones, which drips all the way down kind of, and then obviously kind of the same with this guy, but I wanted it to look like this guy had kind of been dragged up there, so hence why the blood work's also on this bit as well. There's also small drips that I've done going up the stone, so it looks like Curze has kind of gone up there still with it dripping off the blades. This guy's head's a complete mess. You can see all the interwork in the neck and all the tendons and stuff like that. Like I say, this is an app. If you love painting and you love detail, this model is absolutely stunning. So yeah. So there you go, guys. A bit of a long one, and I realised that I've rambled a bit. But like I say, there is just so much to this model that it's not just a case of, oh, here's this bit, here's this bit, here's this bit. It's a case of there is so much in this. It is such a joy to paint. The only bit I was a bit unsure of was the fact that the wrist blades are very thin resin, so I would definitely take care of them. I love the idea of how he looks, as I was never a fan of the artwork with the ridiculous fingernail lightning claws, because of the way his nature is. I never saw how it fit in with that kind of weaponry, whereas this is a lot more intimate and it's a lot more, I suppose, fear driven, which I think comes through quite well in this. So yeah, there you go, guys. Once again, thank you so much for all the likes, the comments, the subscriptions, the likes over on the Facebook page, the messages, the likes on Instagram, everything. Thank you so much, guys. I'm not sure what vid's coming next, as I've got a few things on the go, but I'm hoping it'll be a bit sooner than a couple of weeks. So yeah, thank you once again, guys. Stay safe, and I'll catch you again next time. Cheers.